Hello everybody and welcome to Tiger Tales, a place you'll find stories and fanfictions written and read to you by your host, me, Tai Tiger. Today we're diving back into a story, a tale told by my power of time, my business partner and best friend, Cosplay Dude 637. See, he has a podcast called Storytime with Cosplay Dude 637, and over the years, he's managed to kind of sprawl off his stories into different places. A lot of his Power Ranger and Kamen Rider stories went to one podcast, his Order original story went to its own podcast, but then he's left with a few stories that he doesn't know what to do with. And right now, he's kind of sitting ducks, not knowing what to do with Storytime itself. So, I offered to put these stories onto Tiger Tales so they have a home. So this is actually one of his original storylines that were on Storytime. This is Shadowhunters. Now, Shadowhunters is a book series. It's been adapted twice, and it's one of Cosplay Dude's favourite books. I think it's his favourite books of all time. Saying that, let's dive in with today's story.
Shadowhunters, Blood Ties, Chapter 1, Normal Days. New York is a city filled with all kinds of people, going from place to place, living their lives. What the everyday people did not know is their small, little world was fake. For underneath all the coffee and appointments and businesses, there was a world of darkness, a shadow world. In this world, we have guardians called Shadowhunters, or police of the downworlder. They are humans that have angel blood in them. The angel blood allows them to use runes to enhance their already heightened natural abilities to battle rogue downworlders or demons. Jace Lightwood Herondale is one of these guardians. He is a tall man with shaggy blonde hair and golden eyes. His body was covered in black marks, and a long sword was gripped in his right hand. His eyes were locked on a huge wolf that stood in front of him. "Torrent, don't make me do this," Jace pleaded through his teeth. The wild wolf just snorted and lunged at Jace. Jace quickly dodged to the side, so fast no normal person could have seen him. The wolf slid on the wet grass of Central Park. It turns to find Jace right in front of its face. Jace brings his sword down quickly, and blood spurts out from the wolf's head as now a human ear lays on the floor on the grass. "Torrent, you have broken the law, and if you continue to hunt mundanes, I will be forced to kill you." Jace grips his sword handle, ready for another attack. "Torrent, he will do it," says a girl's voice. Jace smirks as an African-American girl walks up behind him. "It's about time you got here, Maya," he says, his body loosening. "Sorry. The pack was on a hunt last night. I did not get your note till today," Maya replies. Maya Roberts was the leader of the New York Wolfpack. She was a slender girl with curly black hair. She did, however, have an aura of leadership to her. Did you have to cut his ear off?" she asks. "It was the ear or his life. I think the ear was the better choice," Jay snickers. Slowly, the huge wolf turns back into a teen boy with his left ear cut off. "I will kill you, Shadowhunter," Torrent snaps. Maya looks at Torrent with a stern look, and he bows his head in submission. "Listen, cub, and listen good. You got a choice to make. Join my pack and deal with the punishment I give you, or," Maya says, "or I kill you for breaking the law," Jace smirks. Torrent looks from Maya and Jace, then changes back into his wolf form. Maya was way more skilled and was able to change into her wolf form a split second before Torrent's attack. Her jaws bite down on his throat. Jace sheaths his sword and shakes his head in disappointment. There's a loud snap sound, and Torrent's human body falls to the grass. Maya turns back to normal, spitting out blood. "I really don't like having to do that," she spits out angrily. "I know, Maya, but he left you no choice. If he had not joined the pack, the Clave would have sent the order to kill him. He murdered 4 mundanes," Jason states, laying his hand on Maya's shoulder. I know, but it still sucks. We will deal with the body. He is of our kind after all. A child of the moon. Maya gives a whistle and two very big men come out of the tree line and pick up the body. One slowly picks up the ear and holds it out with two fingers. They nod at Maya and walk off. Say, where's Clary and the others? Maya asks, looking around. Clary is with her mom and Luke, them settled at the academy. Alec and Magnus are off somewhere with the boys. As for Izzy and Simon, they're still on their honeymoon. Jace says with a blank face. Man, how long they going to be in Israel? Maya retorts. Jace just shrugs. The two walk over to the street where his motorcycle sits. You have a vampire bike, she asks. Jace smirks and looks at his bike with admiration. Yep, the Vamp clan made it for me after that event with the org attack on the Hotel du Mont. He responds with joy. Maya just shakes her head and starts off for the subway. See you later, Blondie. She waves. Later, Fleabag. Jace chuckles and jumps on his bike and speeds off. In Manhattan lives Magnus and Alec. Inside their home, chaos is happening. Max, a blue-skinned warlock child, is running after a young black-haired Shadowhunter child named Raphael. Daddy, help! Raphael says, running into the kitchen and ducking behind Alec's legs. Whoa, 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 what's going on? Alec asks, looking at his boys. Daddy, he broke my Harry Potter wand, Max says, holding up two pieces of a toy wand. I didn't mean to. I was just practicing my dagger throws Uncle Jace showed me, Raphael cries. Alec lets out a heavy sigh. Where's Papa? He was in the study last time we saw him, Max says, glaring at his younger brother. Raphael hides more behind Alec. Okay, Max, we will get you a new wand, and Raphael, no more knife throws in the bedrooms. Alec takes the wand from Max and then ruffles his boys' hair. Go play with Chairman Meow for a bit, boys. The two kids hug and run off. And a few seconds later, there is a sound of a cat crying out in terror. I said play, not kill. Alec walks into the study and sees his husband sitting behind his desk. Magnus is a sharp dresser, and has his very own style. However, today Magnus was dressed in an old gray sweater and black sweats. His black hair was tasseled like he had been holding his hands in his hair. Alec crosses the room and so quiet and light. He kisses his husband on the cheek. Slowly Magnus looks up and smiles. Hey there, my handsome man, Magnus says, and is cut off by Alec kissing him on the lips. You okay, Magnus? You look Alec inquires. Oh yes, fine. It's just a letter from someone wanting my services, Magnus explains, shifting the letter he was reading under some other papers. Alex looks unaffected. Well, I need to go into town. Max's wand is broken and, well, we need milk, Alex says and heads out the door. The boys are playing with the cat, Alex says and opens the study door. Chairman Meow comes running into the room and hides under Magnus's desk. Playing? Magnus says, raising an eyebrow. Alex shrugs and walks out of the office. A week later, Jace sits in the library, behind a large oak desk with angels holding up each end. On the desk, papers were everywhere. Some in piles, others just scattered around the desk. A few are all crumpled up into. A young 20-year-old girl with fire-red hair walks into the library and over to Jace and kisses him on the cheek. Hello, hottie. Hey there, Clary, Jace says, smiling up at the girl. They are all in the main yard, and the others will be here soon, Clary says, smiling. Jace hangs his head down. Man, why are we doing this again? He asks. Because we are an institute, and the Clave wants us to... And I would love to see you tell the consul no. Clary responds, pulling Jace to his feet. The two walk out of the library and head down to the front of the Institute. In the main yard stands 3 other people, 2 guys and a girl. One of the men is Alec Lightwood. The other guy is kind of scrawny compared to Jace and Alec. His hair was plain brown and it was all ruffled. He was wearing a black t-shirt and black jeans. On the t-shirt, the words Mortal Instruments on the front. This was Simon Lovelace. Standing next to Simon was a girl with long black hair. She was in a short black skirt that came to just above her knees, and a black string tank top with a black leather jacket on. This was Isabel Lightwood. Magnus gone to get him? Clary asks, walking up holding Jace's arm. Alec just nods. Where are the boys? Isabel asks. With Mom, Alec answers. You guys get moved in? Clary inquires, looking at Simon and Isabel. Yes, we did. Thanks for the huge room, Isabel smiles. It's the furthest from our room. I don't want to hear newlyweds all night, Jace snickers. Oh yeah, like we had to deal with you two? Simon retorts. Jace was not able to use a comeback because a blue portal opened up. Magnus Bane walks out of it smiling. Right this way, kiddos. Out of the portal was a young brown hair and is of average build. After him tumbled a girl with poofy brown hair and a slender body. Once that girl was out of the way, a young boy with black hair shaved down to his skull and was a skinny toothpick come flying out Superman style, and finally a small girl with long reddish brown hair down to her butt and a slim build walked out like any other normal Shadowhunter would. On your feet, line up, Jace shouts, and the 4 teens scramble to their feet and line up shoulder to shoulder. Okay, newbies, I'm only going to say this once, and if you don't get it, too bad. I am Jace Lightwood Herondale, and this is Clary Frey Fairchild, Jace says and points to Clary, who gives them a light wave. We run this place. You will be sent out on missions by us. Simon will be your physical trainer and be your weapons master, he adds and points to Simon and Izzy. Most of you are from the Dregs class, and one is from the elite class. The one that is from the elite class, you go nowhere in the city without one of us. Now, I want your names and where you lived before here, he finished. The tallest teen stepped forward and, with a very British accent, says, Mikhail, from London. Next, the girl with the poofy hair, Angelique, from Texas. Then the Superman diver stepped forward, Xander, from Queens, New York. And last, the small redhead skipped up and seemed to be jumping out of her skin. I am Ruthie, from Europe. And can I just say, I am so honored to be here, working with legends. Hold up. These are the ones of those Shadowhunters you've been fangirling? Angelique asked, looking down the line at the jittery Ruthie. Yes, this is the Shadowhunters that ended not only the Mortal War, but also the Dark War, Ruthie adds, bouncing on her heels. Then that means your headmaster Jocelyn's kid, Xander chimes in, looking at Clary. Clary just smiles and nods. Guys, I need to get going to a meeting with Maya and Lily, Alex says. No, wait, the leader of the vampire and Lycan clans? Angelique squirrely squeals in excitement. Yeah, Alex says, a little shocked. Don't mind her. Her focus of study was downworld and politics, Xander says. Well, maybe next time you can tag along, Alex says, and grabs Magnus's hand, and the two just walk off. Okay, newbies, head inside and find your room, Jace says. All the teens nod, pick up their bags, and head into the Institute. This is going to be such a pain, Jace says after all the teens were in the building.
This story was written and read to you by Cosplay Dude 637. More about him in the outro.
This podcast is a production of the Three Ranger Bros Studios, in association with Zio to Hero, the podcast.
And there we have it, guys. Thank you very much for listening to this story. If you've enjoyed this story, then you might want to check out all of my Tiger Tales channels. I'm going to give you a quick rundown. There's Tiger Tales, the first and the original. This is a place where you'll find stories and fanfictions diving into all sorts of fandoms, including Power Rangers, Pokemon, The Walking Dead, Marvel, DC, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and so much more. Tiger Tales The Lost Stories follows the same suit, but all the stories on that channel are in the first person perspective. Then there's Tiger Tales Game Over, a channel where all of the storylines are related to video games in some way or another. Then we have Tiger Tales X, where I write official crossovers that aren't needed but are very wanted, and crossovers I thought might work. Then, of course, we have Tiger Tales Mysterious Origins. This is the YouTube channel dedicated to my own original stories. All the stories on this channel are original and my own, and it also answers questions on certain characters throughout my stories like William Cranston, Mr. Pocket, and Ace from the Color Matrix. If you've enjoyed these storylines, then please make sure you check out the following podcasts. Storytime with Cosplay Dude 637, Power Rangers Universe 19, Sailor Moon E, and The Order. And make sure you check out 2 YouTube channels, Nostalgia Time and the One Piece audio drama. They are all written and read to you and edited by Cosplay Dude 637, my Parabatai and best friend. Then make sure you check out the podcast Nerds Through Comics, which is directed by Mark, the Red Corner Ranger. This is where he adapts comic books into audio dramas and also uploads his own original Power Ranger storylines. We are the 3 Ranger Bros Studios, a collaborative project, and we are all voice actors and helpers of each other's stuff, so make sure you go check us out. We're in association with the Zero to Hero podcast, so a huge shout out to Billy and Jim, the co-hosts, and of course the podcast and the community that they lead. If we're shouting out podcasts, I have to shout out Jared, the host of If You Give It Down a Podcast. Make sure you check it out because he interviews some fantastic guests, from wrestlers to voice actors and the such. And of course, if we're talking podcasts, I have to mention my own, the Tiger Nexus podcast, where I interview content creators and geeks alike. A huge shout out to all my supporters and followers, my voice actors, the people who co-write my chapters, and the sorts. So huge thank you, and of course, a big shout out to A-Crown. Specifically him, because he helps me a lot with some of my stories, specifically the Color Matrix and the chapters that go on Tiger Tales Game Over. Thank you very much guys for listening. Now don't forget to subscribe to the channels, like the videos, and let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. With that being said, I shall see you guys in the next one.
That before we can...
Don't touch my Pringles.